the Pentecostal church because of Nona. She was a cornerstone of our family, and my mom, therefore, got saved and became a Christian, and that's how I started going to church in the first place. It was really, really hard for me at first to accept that God existed and there was a higher power and all that stuff when I was a kid. And then when I was 15, Mom, the church we were attending in Ormocto, they were going to have a Billy Graham crusade. And everybody here should know who Billy Graham is, right?
Yep.
Anyway, he was an evangelical preacher. Very, he's still here today, but he's not doing well. But he has crusades to save people and to bring people to God. And we went, and it was in Ferriton, and at that crusade, it was, when was it, 1995, 1994 time frame. I gave my heart to the Lord then. And for a while, it was good. Mom took us to church. I went every Sunday. My dad wasn't a man of God or church, so I kind of just stayed away from it. You know, growing up was typical in my house. It was just like every other house. There's family issues with everything, right? But the whole time I stayed strong in God and with my mom's help. She took me to church every Sunday. I did youth group, so she took me to youth group. She took me to Pioneers, which was kind of like a youth group thing. And I attended church all the way until I joined the military. When I was 19 years old, I decided to be a man. And I joined the military, and because it's what I knew. My father was in the military, and he still is. And I decided that I wanted to do something with my life. Well, when I joined the military, I also found a lot of things out in the military. Number one, that there's a huge party culture in the military. So, yeah, let's just say that I found out what drinking was really fast, and what doing drugs was really fast. And, yeah, it's, believe it or not, there's a lot of that in the military. I won't get into that side of the house. So anyways, time went on. I partied lots, did lots of drugs, drank lots of alcohol, copious amounts of alcohol, to the point of, passing out, blacking out, whatever you want to call it. And that was the regular thing, man. That was, as soon as Friday hit, right till Sunday. Like, not even a couple hours to recover, whatever, go to work the next day. So for a while, this became a pattern. And I didn't realize I had issues, I didn't realize I had a problem, but I did have a problem, and it developed. And then I met my ex at the time, Angela, and we started dating, we started seeing each other, but I never really stopped using drugs while I was with her. I hid it from her, and I never really stopped drinking. I hid it from her as well. So, a lot of stuff happened with work. I ended up getting in trouble. We got drug tested, a bunch of us, one men's Christmas dinner. We got taken out in front of 400 people, and they drug tested us. And I was one of the lucky guys who got caught. And for me, anyways, it was a change in my life. I got sent away to a rehab program. It was 6 weeks, extensive work, and it was really hard. It was one of the hardest things I had to do in my life, probably, besides, getting married, having a child, and, all the other things that come in life. Was really hard. So, I did those 6 weeks, came back with a new look on life. I was like, wow, man, am I lucky? I'm alive. I did all these drugs, I did all this alcohol drinking, blacking out, everything. I'm still alive, man. I'm so lucky. Well, this was good for me for a year or so, but then me and Angie's relationship got more extensive. We eventually got engaged and got married. A lot of you guys were there for the wedding. And, things were good in my marriage for a while. I didn't drink. And if I did drink, it was just like, say for instance this, at the hall, we're having a drink just to celebrate, hey, cheers to whoever, whatever, and that was it. So, and then, started getting marital problems. And as things came on with marital problems, I went to what I knew. And what I knew to deal with things when I was empty was to be filled with alcohol. So I went right to the bottle, started drinking. To deal with my problems with marriage was the wrong choice. But then the greatest miracle happened in my life with Angie. We found out we were pregnant with my child, Caleb. And Caleb was a miracle from God because we weren't supposed to be able to have kids. Because Angie has endometriosis. And that's just this thing that women have that and I can't get into extensively because I'm not a doctor or anything, but you're not supposed to be able to have kids. And she was on the pill when this happened. So, Caleb was a miracle to me from God, and I didn't even know it. So we had Caleb, and things were awesome. You know, we still had our hard moments, but I was happy. I was a father. I was filled full of life. I enjoyed being a father. I love that child. And we ended up getting posted to Petawawa, or Tuamotu, back to Tuamotu. And my wife and me ended up, you know, doing a lot of marriage counseling, and we separated 3 times. Each time she came back, I thought things were better, but they weren't. But each time that she was gone, I went right back to what I knew, and that was drinking and drugging, because that's all I knew. That's what I knew to cope with everything. That's what I had. That was my mechanism. That was my crutch. Okay? And everybody has their crutches in life. Mine was drinking and drugging. That's what made me feel good. That's what made me feel whole. That's what made me feel complete. Well, you know, once upon a time in my life, I had Christ, man. I had Jesus in my life. And I forgot what that feeling was like, that Jesus made you feel whole, that He made you feel complete. And, you know, one of my friends at work one day, this is all going on, Angie's gone at this point, I'm living on my own, and I'm doing nothing but getting high every weekend and getting as drunk as I can. Well, anyways, I ended up, it was October 31st, 2012, I was driving my car back from the bar with some of my friends. And I was just completely smashed, hammered. But I was the soberest one in the group. So, it was my job to drive us back, it was my car. So I said, boys, I got this. Not to mention I was high as a kite, so when you mix the two together, not a good thing. Well, guess what? On the way back to Tuamotu, I got pulled over by the RCMP. Guess what? I got a DUI. I lost my license. But not only did I lose my license, guys, I had drugs on me as well. So you're looking at a convicted felon right now. So, I didn't do any time in jail, luckily. I only had enough on me for possession. So, I went to jail for the night. The next day I had to work. That was awesome. I had to call my boss and say, hey, I'm in the slammer. Oh yeah, what'd you do? Yeah, I got drunk. And I got DUI and also drug possession. Whoa, well, yeah. Get in here, like ASAP now. I said, well, I'm in cuffs right now in the prison, so can't come see you. So, I got past that, went to work the next day, let them know everything that happened. Well, anyways, as time went on, I had to go to Ottawa on my file because this is like, you know, the military doesn't look good on drugs and DUIs and that kind of stuff, especially when your job is to drive a tank. That's what I did. I was a tank driver. And I drove ATCs, I drove Lab 3s, but that's what my job was driving stuff. And if I don't have a license, I can't drive, right? So anyways, my friend Chris Orlesky, who's also a tank driver, he's a righteous dude. He's going to Haiti to be a missionary with his family. He was in the army. He just got out on December 21st. He's going to Haiti to be a missionary with his whole family, his wife and his 3 kids. Well, for 4 months straight, this guy, a good friend of mine, Chris Orlesky, he has coffee with me, and he knows my background. He knows my history with God and with church and how I grew up in the church. And every day for 4 months, he sat down with me and he's like, Kevin, you should come check out this church, man. It's pretty awesome. I'm pretty sure you'll like it. You should come check it out. Every single day I said no to the guy. I was like, you know what, Chris? I'm sorry, man. No, I'm not into the God thing. I got this. I don't need God. Who needs God, right? I've been there before with God. I did fine without Him. I don't need Him. Well, anyway, Chris never gave up on me, and I thank God for that every day. I really do, because I don't know what happened, but one day, like about month 4 of him asking me every single day that we worked, he said, Kevin, you want to check out this church on Sunday with me? And for whatever reason that day, had this warm feeling come over me. Completely warm. Like I was as if I was burning almost. It was like a burning, you know? A burning sensation came over me. I said, you know what? Man, I'm going to go. Come pick me up. What time do you want me ready? He's like, okay, we'll be there at 10:15 service. We'll be there to get you at 9 o'clock. You be ready, okay? I said, yeah, I'll be ready. So I was there, I was ready. went to the church service that day, and guess what, guys? Something very, I would say that this was definitely from God. I went to that service, and guess what the sermon was that Pastor Mark Brewer was delivering? The service was being able to break your chains of addiction to drugs and alcohol, being able to break your chains of addiction to pornography, being able to break your chains of addiction to, whatever it is. It was just about breaking your chains of addiction. So it was like, wow, is this an epiphany or what? I go into church the first time in years and years and years, and this guy's delivering a service, and it's directed, bam, right at me, right? So from that day on, I started attending that church, and I just became on fire for the Holy Spirit. I just became on fire for Jesus. I wanted to know Jesus, I wanted to have a personal relationship with Jesus, and I wanted to serve the kingdom any way that I could. I was just so on fire. I was like, man, where have you been, Jesus? I know, it was awesome. So I started doing youth group on Wednesday nights with my church. I started doing a Bible study on Thursday nights there where we clean the church. First we go in the church, we clean it, then we do the Bible study. Sundays, I'm a greeter. I go there for second service, I greet, and then I sit in for third service. Any way that I can to help the church, I help. And another way that my eyes have been open to the Holy Spirit and to Jesus is this. This last year, mainly the last 8 months, I've been doing outreach. A lot of outreach stuff in my community. We go out with this group called Boaz Ministries, and it's to help feed impoverished families. Families who have nothing. I'm telling you, these families, what we had tonight, you don't understand. We're rich. We are rich to be able to have this. We are rich. These families have nothing. You know, they have barely enough to make by. Well, I was able to do this, go into the community the last 6-8 months, and be able to see this. And this really opened my eyes to the Lord and said, Kevin, you are rich, man. Like, even now, right now, guys, I lost my job because of what happened, because of my drugging and alcohol, all that stuff. I lost my job. So right now I'm unemployed, I'm on unemployment. What else?
Lost your family.
I lost my family. I lost my license. I can go on and on. But you know what? Through it all, especially these last 8 months, we'll say, I've become on fire for God and for Jesus again. And, it's not easy, guys. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, go to Jesus and then your life's going to be all sunshine and rainbows. Because guess what? That's not the way it works. And we all know that. No one in here can say they have a perfect life. Because if they can, I want to know the secret. Because there is no secret. No one here has a perfect life. I don't care if you're a Christian, a non-believer, what it is, but no one has a perfect life. There was one perfect person, and that was Jesus Christ. And He had to die for us in order for us to have the freedom that we have today. So the big thing that I want everyone to know is that I have right now a renewed hope. I have a hope in God, I have a hope in Jesus, and that, I'm so blessed that I have the cross, because there's a few times in my partying times, where I overdosed. And by overdose, I mean there was this one that I remember very carefully, where I was with these guys, and all I remember is just going from, we're talking, everything's good, next minute, nothing. I just see nothing at all. I don't remember nothing, and I just remember seeing a whole bunch of white light. And it was like a tunnel of white light, right? And that's all I remember, is a tunnel of white light. And then after that, there's this person way in the distance going like this, go back. Go back. And they're screaming as loud as they can, go back. And I'm like, what the freak, man? What do you mean go back? Like, go back. I'm like, so I just turn around. I'm like, okay, whatever. And this isn't what I see. I turn around. Then the light's gone, and the guy's shaking me. I'm in a bathtub. I'm soaking wet in water. My clothes are off me. And the guy's shaking me. He's like, Kevin, are you okay? Huh? What's wrong with you guys, man? What's the party? Like, what's going on? Dude, you've been out for like 2 hours. What? Are you serious? I've been out for 2 hours? No. It's been like, what, 2 minutes or something, right? No. Man, we thought we lost you. We thought you were dead, dude. We were shaking you. Your heart was nothing. You were a limp body. Nothing. I'm like, really? Whoa. But then I still didn't wake up. I still did not wake up, man. To God. I still didn't wake up to what I had. And by the grace of God that I'm here right now, speaking in front of you all. Because if I did not have that grace, if I did not have, something that God looking out for me will say, because He has a plan for me. I don't know what it is yet. I really don't. I would love to know. I would love for Him to reveal it right now and go, bam, Kevin, this is what you're going to do. But I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be. I mean, I know there's going to be Jeremiah 29:11, plans to prosper me, plans to make me grow, but what they are, I don't know. I just know that now I'm serving Jesus, I'm serving the kingdom, and I'm never turning back, I'm never looking back. And no matter what anybody says to me, to ridicule me, no matter what anybody says to me to make me feel down about God or my religion or whatever, I don't care. I don't care because guess what? My seat is secure. I know where I'm going when I die now. I didn't know where I was going to go before. I was like, man, if I die tomorrow, shoot, what's going to happen to me? Am I going to go to heaven or am I going to go to hell? Well, I gave my life to Jesus when I was 15. So I'll go to heaven, right? Because I did it once. Once saved, always saved. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. You have to give your life to Jesus, and you have to mean it.
That's right.
You can't just sit there and say, I gave my life to Jesus when I was 15, but then I backslid for 15 years, so if I die tomorrow, I'm okay, right? No. And that's what I didn't realize, guys, is that for a long time I was living as a lukewarm Christian. What that means is, you go to church, you attend your service, you do this, you do that, and you're like, okay, I did my godly duty, I'm done now. That's it, I did my godly duty, right? I did my Sunday afternoon, I'm good. No, that's not what we are, that's not what He wants from us, I guess. He wants us to go out and to do things for Him. Like what I'm doing right now, guys, I gotta tell you, I have the gift to speak. I enjoy speaking, and I'm doing this for a lot of my younger cousins, okay? Because the older aunts and uncles have heard probably lots of these stories. But for you guys are young, you guys are going through this, you're going to see this in high school, you're going to see this in college, you're going to see this as you're growing up. And I don't want you guys to make the same mistakes that I made, okay? I really don't. Because I love you guys very much with all my heart. And I don't know if you noticed about my Facebook posts, I'm a big Facebooker. That's what I do. I go to Facebook and I let my love on Facebook. And I try to send it equally to everybody, But I want you guys to take, just learn from my experience, learn from my mistakes that, it's going to be so easy for you to fall into those traps. Because you're going to be at a party, and you're going to be like, hey, let's go do a little bit of this E here, let's go do a little bit of this, and you're going to go, you know what, yeah, God's a forgiving God, He'll forgive me for that, whatever, it's good. But the thing is that'll lead to something else. That'll lead to something else, okay? And that's what I thought too. When I got into this stuff, I was like, oh yeah, just a little bit of this, a little bit of that, it's going to be good to go. No, that's not how it works. Once Satan has his clutches in you, he wants them. He wants you. Because then you're his. You know what I mean? He doesn't want you, he wants you to go to his kingdom. He doesn't want you to go up with God or Jesus. So you've got to be very vigilant. You have to be very careful how you tread in this society. Because let me tell you, it's so easy to go to the left and go towards the bad things. Because that's all we see today on TV, on MTV. You got Molly Ray Cyrus twerking her stuff in front of everyone. That's all you see, right? It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's disgusting. So it's very hard for us to live a righteous life. It's very hard for us to live a life for Christ. It's very hard for us to live a life for Jesus and to give everything that we are to Him. Not just 20% on Sunday or 30% on Sunday, but 100% every single day. Right? Because for a while, that's what I did. I won't lie to you guys. Last year when I was here, I went to a church service at Enfilatus Church. And I was on fire. I thought I was like, yeah, I felt the Holy Spirit. I was like, man, I was telling my mom, I'm like, Mom, this is awesome. I love God. I love Jesus. Went home that whole time when I left here, and I was going back to church. But at the same time, guess what I was doing on the weekend? Getting high and getting drunk. Woo! But then I was still going to church on Sunday. That's not how it works. He doesn't want us to be lukewarm, okay? He wants everything. We can say this, and if you guys don't agree with me, I'm sorry, but Jesus, sometimes, He's greedy with us. He wants us all to Himself. He doesn't want any of us to go astray, to go to Satan. He wants us all to Himself. So in that aspect, He's greedy. So basically, guys, sorry, I know, I got talking. I'm a talker. But anyway, what I'm saying is that I care about you all, and if you can take anything from this, is that there's hope out there, and I found hope in Jesus. So I hope that you guys can all do the same thing, and I hope that I touched somebody here today, and that they saw where I was and where I am now, and they can see, wow, you know what, if Cousin Kevin can do that with Jesus, then hey, I want to get Jesus in my life now too, so that's all I got, guys.